Today I have something I feel is very interesting. This has been in my mind for quite some time now, and I feel sharing this will help many in understanding one's body in the light of Ayurveda. It's about decoding the unknown concepts in Ayurveda, especially the three doshas. Many of us have heard Vata, Pitta and Kapha, but have you really wondered what it is? This curiosity for me started right from the beginning of my college days, to know what the doctors like Charaka and Sushruta knew. They, they saw the human body as a magnificent specimen, no doubt on that. It was an element of observation for them. By learning about all the entities of this very human body, about the qualities and functions of every living tissue, the silent interactions inside were perceivable, and the output of such an understanding led them to see human body as dosha, dhatu and mala. Dhatu means to support and includes all the physical and human cellular components of the body. And mala will be the byproducts of either excretion or the waste of digestion itself. But the doshas still remain as an unclear concept. Exploring this concept is not only needed, but it is quite imperative, since this is the ABCs of Ayurveda. I am Dr. Reshma Sanal with you, and I am happy to share some of my thoughts regarding three doshas and what it can be equated to in the science of the present day. What I elaborate is certainly my understanding of the literature and can be completely refuted by anyone from his or her standpoint. Before I talk, I want to thank my gurus who not only taught me brilliantly and helped me to understand this field of medicine, but they also encouraged me to reflect against all convictions. I share this today because I believe that my understanding of the doshas, which may or may not be naive, will be helpful in evaluating our body, our health, the pathophysiology, or even Ayurveda itself. So, linking doshas to the modern terminologies. First off, doshas. The word means to vitiate. It is certainly a biological entity, as per the shlokas. There is no doubt. But the naming is done in a negative sense, if you see. Secondly, explaining the meaning of another shloka, that is, from the time of conception, when the sperm and ovum fuse, the doshas are responsible for the physical and behavioral aspects of the body. That is, how the skin, the weight, the disease resistance of the body, their complexion, etc. is how it is going to be. There is an analogy employed here. Like the poisonous beings are inherent with poison, the human body constitution is developed by the doshas. These are the words of the acharyas. That is, again, they have equated doshas to poison, again in a more negative comparison. Third, the doshas are given specific space and time during which it predominates. Like, for example, Vata in Pakvashya mainly, that is, the part below the navel, in the abdomen obviously, and it is dominant during the old age, the late part of the day and as well as the night, the last phase of digestion of food. Next, the doshas are deduced by their qualities and function. For example, Vata, we have Ruksha, that is dryness, that is without sneha, or it can mean anything. Then we have Laghu. Laghu is lightness, it is light, Vata is light. The acharyas also say Vata is Khara or rough. It is Sukshma, that is subtle. And it is Chala, or it is motile. So also for Pitta and Kapha, I will not describe it in detail. Doshas establish many metabolic, physiological functions in its balanced condition and has a significant role in pathogenesis. According to Ayurveda Shastras, doshas are the main cause in innate diseases of endogenous origin, or are the consequential cause of disease as in traumatic conditions. So in short, actually, doshas promote health in normalcy, and it can cause disease directly due to endogenous or indirectly due to exogenous causes. Now, What are the entities in our body that balance and maintain this dynamic equilibrium, or may I say homeostasis? What are doshas? What is this threesome? Is it the hormones? Is it the micronutrients? Is it carbs, proteins and fats together? Is it water and minerals? Is it electrolytes or immune cells? What can effectively respond to internal and external environment and can also be the cause of most diseases? What is mainly present in the Amapakvashaya, or in other words, the gut of the human body, to exert such a function? What can cause physiological functions, even influencing behaviors? Our body, as we know, is made up of cells, self and non-self, that is, a world of microbes. They may be residents, either permanent or transient microbes inside our body, as many cells apparently even more than ours. Now, microbiota have been found to be crucial for immunological, logic, hormonal or metabolic homeostasis of their host. These are word to word from the data that are collected from the Wikipedia. Colonies which coexist without our permission. Now, the microbiota or the microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, virus present inside the body are in symbiotic or pathogenic or commensal relationship in our body. The human microbiota refer to their genomes. Humans are colonized by many microorganisms. More recent estimates have this to the ratio of 3:1 or even to about 1:1. There is a human microbiome project happening, and it has sequenced the genome of the human microbiota, focusing particularly on the microbiota that normally inhabits the skin, mouth, nose and digestive tract and vagina. Where the Acharya is trying to group these microbes, that is these virome or the endogenous viral elements as Vata, the residential bacterial genome as Pitta, or the fungi or microbiome as the Kapha. It is probable. Today, we have mounting evidence that the microbes support our system in establishing health and not only in creating infections. It is not just a source of infection, it can establish health. Vata may be the virome, the world of virus or its endogenous elements. Pitta may be all the bacterial flora with its metabolites, and Kapha could be the fungal biota, all of this either singly or in symbiotic community. Even I smirked at this idea initially, but when I listed and searched through the shloka, it was slowly unfolding to this cue. If Sneha is taken as lipids and fats, for example, we know Vata is Ruksha, that is without Sneha, and Pitta is slightly with fats, Ishat Sneha or Sasneha, and Kapha is mainly Snigdha. When we look at these as microbes, as virus, bacteria and fungi, virus needs lipids from the host, that is, it is devoid of the lipids on its own. It will have to take it from the host. Bacteria contains lipids and fungi is an excellent storage of fats. Due to lack of time, I would not elaborate on more on this. Let me come back to our classics. Now, as I mentioned, the Acharyas mentioned about the exact time and space for each of the doshas. The diversity of microbes also differ as per one's age, diurnal or circadian cycles, or due to seasons, and obviously according to the food we eat. I strongly believe even before the hormones or the electrolytes or any other entities before it can stabilize homeostasis, it is the work of microbes that enrich or deplete the human body of its components of homeostasis. So, even before the elements of homeostasis are at work, it is the microbes that lead to homeostasis. When the Acharyas talk about Shodhana and Shamana, it is the elimination or suppression of these microbes. When the acharyas are talking about samsargaja or sannipadaja roga, I think it is the two dosha join in a symbiotic influence of the two kingdoms, the two kingdoms of microbiomes can join together in creating certain diseases in our body on the host. Sannipadaja, when the disease is caused by tridosha, or it may be a human pan-microbiome infection, if I can put it that way. Microbiome establishes health and their dysbiosis leads to diseases. If my logic is correct, understanding the microbes can be better with the help of Ayurveda texts, as it details the causative factor of the microbial imbalance or the tridosha imbalance, and it can be applied and studied when dealing with human microbiota. For example, keeping awake at night usually causes Vata disorders, and therefore research can be more focused if the case study was conducted based on this assumption. According to acharyas, whether the disease is endogenous or by external causes, it is finally due to the imbalance of three doshas that the body suffers. So in every disease, be it infective or allergic or non-infective, we will certainly find microbial changes in the body. There are evidences to prove it now. Again, when acharyas are talking about chaya, in which the doshas don't move but is profuse, and prakopa is a stage in the disease process when it starts to produce the disease. The same can be explained with microbiome. Chaya is the threshold till which probably the microbiota doesn't cause problems, and prakopa is a threshold at which the disease starts, that is, when the local microbiota seek other areas than its territory, like microbial invasion. The three dosha gets profound and produce diseases, so is microbes. The commensals usually compete with incoming pathogen and help in their removal too. They also can attack when the internal environment of the body changes, causing an alteration in diversity or population or dysbiosis. The memory gained by our immune cells from the microbiota can easily be shattered or erased by the microbiota themselves. Probably this is the reason why our acharyas evaluated them as poisonous. Now, how do I relate and see the properties of doshas with that of microbes? It is simple. Microbes have their features. Some are acidophilic, some are thermophilic, some are extremophilic, some are anaerobic. I see being cold or shita as psychrophilic and ushna as thermophilic, and so on for virulence and etc. Sukshma and sthula on the organism size, that is, fungi has greater biomass and obviously hits the list on top. In order to understand doshas as microbiome, a lot of research is necessary. And finally, the human body itself is a very complex network of communication between human genome and microbiome. I think even such a separation is so immature and may not be possible in real time. I thank you all for hearing to my talk, and I hope that microbiomes are soon related to the doshas in Ayurveda or vice versa. Thank you.